I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags, and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Oh, I love this country so much.
You guys just don't have a clue.
Well, Cheryl, it was almost exactly 2 hours ago when the sirens went off here in Saudi Arabia. Where we are in eastern Saudi Arabia, there was no problem. Now, let me just size my mask and fit it for a second, just like I always do. Stand by, please. All clear. They're... Oh, shh. What are they saying? Are they saying all clear? Were they saying all clear down there just now? All clear. All clear. Está bien was a false alarm. Got that, Atlanta? Standing down now. I'm gonna go get my hamburger and my coffee.
Good. We just got you all clear.
All clear. Every time I order something, this happens. All clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get real bothered by all this. Boy, did I almost look stupid. Charles Jacobs, CNN, reporting live from Saudi Arabia. No, wait a minute. Whoa, hold it, homeboy. I'm the talent here, you dig? Couple of explosions, what may have been an outgoing Patriot ground-to-air missile, some reported airbursts that may...
Good afternoon, everyone. It's April 1st, 2020. America. Do any of you remember that newscast? For those of us who do remember this, this is yet another example of why one cannot trust the mainstream media, because they constantly fake things. And just recently, a mainstream news outlet was caught using footage from Italy's hospitals to supposedly show what it was like in New York's hospitals. And they even left the foreign language in the background. Now tell me, isn't that a fucking insult? I think it is. We got some things here. Let's hit the first few headlines here first. UN warns COVID-19 outbreak is most challenging crisis since World War II as Germany extends lockdown. Yep. Here we go again. China puts entire country on lockdown after new corona cluster emerges. Now, there's a problem with this. Anyone care to take a stab at what this problem is? Well, the problem is that they have more than one upper respiratory or respiratory illness going around. You might recall a couple weeks ago, we talked about the hantavirus. It too is spreading around in China. And so, which is it? Which illness is it? The hantavirus or the coronavirus? But they're putting China back on lockdown. So, yeah. Leaked U.S. intel report accuses China of deliberately lying about coronavirus figures. Oh, here's a great one. Domestic abuse calls soar as nationwide lockdown extends. People, It's bad enough we got a government doing some of the things that they're doing. You don't need to add to your problems by slapping your wife around or starting a fight with your husband. Seriously. I mean, for crying out loud, can't you guys smoke a joint or eat some mushrooms and relax? Relax. No need to assault each other. Putin self-isolates after shaking hands with infected doctor at Moscow hospital. But I thought there wasn't any problem in Russia. That's what RT keeps on saying. And they also keep on saying that everything is just fine and dandy in China. Yeah. But it's not. It's not fine and dandy in China. We heard that Apple stores opened back up. Well, I'm probably going to have to close back down again. Probably going to have to keep it locked down for the foreseeable future. Probably. Tucker Carlson, the WHO helped China cover up COVID-19, and I agree with that. This motherfucker right here, he is a communist. He is a radical. And he intentionally downplayed what was going on in China so that something could take hold, whether it's a disease or just authoritarian governments taking hold, is yet to be seen. We already knew about, manufacturing. It was decimated back when they signed the NAFTA agreement, and has gotten worse ever since. So no need to touch on that. Russia has halted domestic gold purchases. There's no gold to be had, people. All the mines are shut down, and certain institutions, let's call them, are having problems fulfilling the orders and are issuing IOUs to their customers. I'd be getting my money back if I were you. Look, if you can't hold it in your hand and look at it, like this, little gold coin here. If you can't look at it like that and touch it, handle it, well, it's probably not yours. It's probably you're probably just told that it's yours. But if you can't take it out, handle it, inspect it, show it off, whatever it is you're doing, it's not yours. And you remember, back some years ago, the government outlawed citizens having gold. Remember that? But if you can't take your coins out and hold them and you got an IOU, you're just got fucked. Yep. Just got fucked. And speaking of fucked, you know what I saw? I saw that Canadian citizens are getting something like $7,000. It looks like the Canadians are leaning more towards actually bailing their citizens out rather than, you know, big corporations like our fascist government. Yeah. But to Donald Trump's credit, I'll give him credit where credit's due. He did demand that gun stores stay open and be declared critical infrastructure. So kudos to you, Donald Trump, for that. And also, I watched his newscast last night, his coronavirus task force update, and you know, he seems to be putting lives before economy. Seems to be. But I will tell you this. No matter what the death toll ends up being from the virus, the death toll from an economic collapse will be much worse. And as you know, before any of this started happening, we were in the middle of an economic collapse, albeit a slow one, but we're still in the middle of one, and somebody came along, because it wasn't going fast enough, and swiped all the pieces off the board. Somebody. There's a lot of people who doubt that any of this virus talk it's real. They're saying that it's a hoax and it's just a strong version of the flu. And maybe it is, but it's still a little bit stronger than the flu, right? And over here, we have this article, Wuhan P4 Laboratory, a part of Pandora's box. And I can't go over this whole article with you because it is rather lengthy. However, if you do care to learn the whole thing about what's been going on at this lab and who's involved, let me know in the comment section, and I will dedicate an entire video to this one article. But I will tell you that is a very complete piece of work and very informative, shall we say. And I'm going to hit the first 9 sections here, what they are, and if you would like me to get into it, then let me know in the comment section. Also, I will be leaving my email address in the description box below. If you have any information for me, any of you, hit me up. And if you like my content, please like, share, subscribe. PayPal link is down there too. Now, number 1, the history of Wuhan Institute of Virology. Virology, there we go. Number 2, France-China relationship and the P4 lab. Number 3, France-China Foundation. Number 4, the P4 Lab organization chart of Wuhan's P4 Lab. Number 5, literature highlights. 6, key persons. 7, intriguing facts. 8, summary. And 9, epilogue. Evidence of connections to the Jiang family. How about we go to number 7? What do you say? Like I said, it's a very lengthy piece, but it is worth going over and worth the read, let me tell you. Lots of information in this one. There's 5. Hmm. 6, and where are you at? 7. 7, intriguing facts. Okay, number 7, or on their sections. This is number 7, intriguing facts. A. First official announcement from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Watch the timing. No, we don't know what it says, but it's official announcement. And 10:28. Well, I can't read it for you, but because I'm not Chinese, but they're saying that the timing is incredible. An internal email sent by Wang Yanyi was exposed on January 2nd, 2020. Wang Yanyi asked all employees of the Institute not to disclose any information about the coronavirus. Yep. Now the virus has begun to wreak havoc on China. These bunch of bastards still lie every day, and they do. But the same holds true with all of the other governments of this world. It's not just the Chinese government. Although people in this country would like to believe that it's the Chinese government and only the Chinese government. It's not. Remember, there's 2 interlocking camps that control this world. The Fabian socialist and the fascist socialist. Right now, the fascists are gearing up people. Wuhan even held a dinner party with 40,000 participants on January 21st. Now, do you really believe with that going on there in Wuhan, the Wu flu, do you really believe with that going on, they've solved their problem? I don't think they have. And, you know, a lot of people want to believe that this virus is fake. Okay? They do. Now, I can't tell you 100% if it is or it isn't. However, they must keep in mind that a greedy, money-grubbing party like the Chinese Communist Party wouldn't just shut down their economy over nothing. Among other things. So, DT-L94 CCTV 24 hours on April 5th, 2018, scientists from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, or WIV, discover a new coronavirus. November 2019, small-scale plague outbreaks in Beijing and Inner Mongolia. January 2020, outbreak of new coronavirus in Wuhan. Do you think these are independent events that have nothing to do with each other? I don't think so. So those are some interesting little tidbits there about the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Now, I can say, if you want to hear a full breakdown of this, and it's very, very detailed, people, please do sound off in the comment section. Pandemic-related unemployment and shutdowns are a recipe for social unrest. This is coming from JD Tasil via Reason.com. Okay, so he poses the question, will this economic downturn, that very quick one, these millions and millions of people, and last week was nothing compared to, or this last week was nothing compared to this week coming up. You want to talk about 3.3 million people rushing to get unemployment benefits? Well, it's going to be a lot more than that, I promise you. And history does suggest that it's a real danger. Okay. Around the world, high unemployment and stagnant economic activity, tend to lead to social unrest, including demonstrations, strikes, and other forms of potentially violent disruptions. And we have people at Whole Foods and Amazon and some other companies wanting to walk off, wanting to not work there because they feel like they're not being provided the proper equipment and they're being put in danger. So this civil unrest is already beginning to happen. Wait till the food. And they keep getting on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, all of the rest, talking about, oh, don't worry, the food supply is good. When they tell you that, when they start telling you don't worry about something, like they did at the beginning of all of this, when they figured out how they could weaponize it against the public, that's when they jumped on board. And they have weaponized it. The media. The death count. The constant fear-mongering over the carnage. The carnage is just getting started. We're just at the beginning of all of this, and from day one to now, and further on, it's gonna continue to go downhill with the speed that you will not fucking believe. We're putting this initial number at 30%. That's a 30% unemployment rate in the second quarter of this year as a result of the planned economic shutdowns. Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis President James Bullard told Bloomberg News on March 22nd, gross domestic product, he adds, is expected to drop by 50%. And the part you should really take heed of is this: planned economic shutdowns. And it's just going to keep going, and it's just going to keep getting worse. Results from the empirical analysis indicate that economic growth and the unemployment rate are the two most important determinants of social unrest. And it's not just that, it's also income inequality. You know how like the people like Bezos and fucking Bill Gates and the rest of these billionaires and super rich, they like to tell us, let them eat cake. Let them eat cake. Why would economic shutdowns lead to social unrest? Because, contrary to any dismals of some members of the political class and many ivory tower types, commerce isn't a grubby embarrassment to be tolerated and avoided. It's the lifeblood of a society. Jobs and businesses keep people alive. Do you hear me? They keep us alive. As much as we hate jobs and businesses sometimes, they do keep us alive. And we've put ourselves in this position for generation after generation. We've increasingly become more and more dependent on the marketplace and less dependent upon ourselves. So, we are going to see some serious shit go down this year. And it's already started. Alright? Going on to the next. When my computer decides to cooperate with me, that is. There we go. Supplies are starting to get really tight nationwide as food distribution systems break down. And again, when mainstream media tells you, don't worry about something, that is the exact something you should be worrying about. Or one of them, anyway. Across America, store shelves are emptying. And people are becoming increasingly frustrated because they can't get their hands on needed supplies. Most Americans are blaming hoarders for the current mess, but it's not actually that simple. And it's not. A large portion of America rely on going to fast food restaurants, and now those people are having to buy food out of the store instead of going to the restaurants, right? And it's causing problems. Approximately 75% of the U.S. is under some sort of shelter-in-place orders, and most of our restaurants have shut down. Things have completely changed. Suddenly, our grocery stores are being flooded with unexpected traffic, and many people are buying far more than usual in anticipation of a long pandemic. Unfortunately, our food distribution systems were not designed to handle this sort of a surge, and things are really starting to get crazy out there. And it's not just the food distribution system, it's the notion that our crops are not going to be planted. So, meanwhile, our farmers are facing severe problems of their own. The following comes from CNBC. The U.S.-China trade war sent scores of farmers out of business. Record flooding inundated farmland and destroyed harvest. And a blistering heat wave stunted crop growth in the Midwest. Now, the coronavirus pandemic has dealt another blow to a vulnerable farm economy, sending crop and livestock prices tumbling and raising concerns about sudden labor shortages. So, this is not going to go away anytime soon, folks. This is a line of people wanting to get free food from a food bank. So, you know, if I were you, and do what I've been doing, planting vegetables. I got a couple hens, a rooster, and I have a fucking shitload of food. If you don't have a fucking shitload of food, at least you're gonna have some really, really hard times ahead. We're already starting to see a dent being made in first responders, including your favorite heroes, the police. 20% of Detroit's police force is now in quarantine. 2 officers have died and 39 tested positive. So, and that's just Detroit. Let's not mention Chicago, New York, or any of the rest, because I'm pretty sure the same thing is happening in those places as well. Do I feel sorry for them? Fuck no. I don't feel sorry for them at all. I guess I would say it's a case of the chickens coming home to roost, or a virus coming home to roost. You choose. Anyway, I thought I'd share these things with you all. Remember, without these billionaires, these corrupt mega governments and these corrupt mega corporations, we wouldn't have many of the problems like pollution and food shortages and a whole long list of other problems. We'd have different problems, but at least there wouldn't be some asshole there with his thumb down on you saying, oh, you can't do this, oh, you can't do that, oh, you can't do, and it just goes on and on. And by the way, any of you who take the word of the FDA as anything valuable, you're a fool. When they say FDA approved, it doesn't mean shit. Because if you have enough money, anything will get approved. Just look at GMO. Just look at some of these vaccines. Remember, you can't trust products where liability for damage has been waived. Such is the case for vaccines. I hope everyone has a great day, and until next time, kill the state, live free.